Well, hello, I'm Dick Baker, and this is my kitchen. Come on in, I'm going to cook a meal today, and we're going to learn some interesting things. Might even have a laugh or two. Let's get started. This is our cooking oil. Oftentimes I like to use peanut oil. When I'm really tired, I occasionally grab a dish soap by mistake. It doesn't taste so good. So we'll take the cover off and put in only a small amount of oil. Okay. I've been using too much oil lately with my pork chops. Now look, we have to distribute this oil a little bit, like this. So, I like to take a look at the size of the fire I have. So I pop this baby open. Here's full blast, but I prefer turning the fire down a little bit. Now to conserve heat, I have a cover. Put that on. What takes the longest is the mixed vegetables. I like to boil those for about 8 minutes. The pork chops can be finished in about 4.5 or 5 minutes, okay? So we want to get our mixed vegetables going right away. So you can see there's carrots and green peas and a few green beans, all of that. And I just barely cover them with water. Now, I like to kind of scar the pork chop a little bit first. So I turn it over prematurely because I want to kind of brown it. Okay, we'll let that go. Let's take a look here. This stove's a little defective, so we'll go for this burner. Alright, so our mixed vegetables are here. We are done for about 3 minutes. What I want to talk to you next about is mashed potatoes. Now, do you know the difference between mashed potatoes and pea soup? Well, look, anybody can mash potatoes. So think about that one a little bit. Okay, so here's how we do this. A little pat of butter, some water, like this. For mashed potatoes, it's about 3/4 water and 1/4 milk. So I'm going to turn this up, and we're going to add some milk. The milk is to make everything a little bit more rich texture. It'll make the potatoes creamier. In particular, I like Spice Supreme. It's a manufacturer that makes lemon pepper seasoning. So salt with an accent like lemon and like pepper gives a particular taste to your mashed potatoes. So I'm going to start out with just about 4 shakes because we can always add more salt, but we can't take it back. So stir it up a little bit, like this. And now in a moment when we come back, this water will be boiling, and we're going to add some of our mashed potatoes. And we're going to get just the right ratio of mashed potatoes and this water to get a fairly dense yet somewhat fluffy mashed potato result. Okay, we'll put that cover on. We are now about 5 minutes from a meal. We'll continue to heat up the pork chops on the back grill. And to that end, I'm going to turn up the heat. Okay, we'll see you in a moment. Water runoff. So I'm going to pour some of this off because what I like to achieve is having a nice brown pork chop. And all this fluid keeps me from getting the real high temperature that I need to effectively brown the pork chop. Now the real hot setup, of course, is to grill your pork chop or use a lot less oil. But this is how I do it. And I'm sticking with the plan. Okay. At a certain point, we will also cut into the pork chop to make certain that it's cooked thoroughly. So I'll put just a little bit of salt on the pork chop to tenderize it. About mashed potatoes and pea soup. Anyone can mash potatoes, but not anybody can pea soup. We have a little problem here. This is overflow. Well, it's definitely time to add the mashed potatoes. So, don't be shy. Come a little closer. We're going to talk about mobility, which is to say, we're going to add and stir, add and stir. Now look, see how the milk is still real fluid, is not at all thick. That means, obviously, to get a thicker consistency, and I better not blow this, I have to add a little more mashed potato. Now what I like to do is little spirals, going like this around the edge, keep going around this edge and like this, spiral along the edges in a circular motion and then go into the center. Now look, we have almost got the perfect consistency here. Now to me, it still feels too heavy with moisture. It's still not light enough. So at this point, one just rather cautiously adds a little bit more mashed potato. Now, this second application of mashed potato, the little flakes aren't going to dissolve quite as rapidly, so we have to stir a little bit more. Even put the cover on and let it sit in. And let's take a look at our pork chops. Okay, yum yum. Look, is this pork chop cooked properly or not? Let's find out. Don't overcook your pork chop, but this is pretty consistent all the way through. So we're going to keep this pork chop warm by putting the cover back on, and we're just going to wait for those mixed vegetables to catch up. Well, these pork chops look really good. Let me get a fork, and let's go into the dining area and get these on the plates. Well, this is our recipe for today. I invite you, if you have the nerve, to try it at home also. And it works for me, and I hope it'll work for you too. Bon appetit. Not bad. Ready for this? For ketchup, we use open pit barbecue sauce. I get excited when I'm on camera, okay? And what I did is I put the mashed potatoes in prematurely. You can see I put all too much barbecue sauce on my pork chop. It's drowned. So I'm going to get a little bit on my mashed potato. Okay. Okay.